Don't spend those Lincoln pennies yet. Some 1987 D, 1994 D, and 2000 D cents have rare mint errors and collector value that could make them worth hundreds, even thousands. Check your pennies closely. You might be holding hidden treasure. The 1987 D US Lincoln 1-cent penny is a coin most people would never look at twice. It is small, lightweight, and was produced in enormous quantities during the late 1980s. For decades, these pennies circulated freely through cash registers, school lunches, parking meters, and household coin jars. Yet within this seemingly ordinary issue, a very small number of coins were struck with extraordinary minting errors, transforming them into some of the most valuable modern Lincoln cents known today, with documented values ranging from $62,680 to $160,800 by 1987. The United States had fully transitioned away from copper cents. Rising metal prices during the early 1980s had forced the government to change the composition of the Lincoln cent in 1982. Instead of solid copper, cents were now made from a zinc core plated with a thin layer of copper. This change dramatically reduced production costs, but it also introduced new technical challenges. The penny had become a complex, layered coin, and any failure in that process could produce a major error. The 1987 D penny was struck at the Denver Mint, identified by the small D mint mark beneath the date. It was produced under the authority of the United States Mint, during a period when efficiency and volume were the top priorities. Pennies were needed in massive numbers, and millions were struck every single day. In such an environment, even highly automated systems were not immune to mistakes. The design of the coin was the familiar Lincoln memorial type. On the obverse appears the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, originally introduced in 1909 and still one of the most recognized images in American coinage. The reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial, with the seated statue of Lincoln visible between the columns. This design had been used since 1959, making it extremely familiar by the time 1987 arrived. Because nothing about the design seemed unusual, errors often went unnoticed for years. One of the most important technical details for identifying a valuable 1987 D penny is its official weight. A standard zinc Lincoln cent must weigh 2.50 grams. This figure is critical. In modern numismatics, weight is often the first and most reliable indicator that something is wrong. Even a small deviation can suggest an error involving metal composition, missing plating, or an incorrect planchet. Many of the most valuable 1987 D error pennies were discovered precisely because they did not weigh 2.50 grams. Some were significantly lighter, while others were unexpectedly heavier. These discrepancies immediately raised suspicion and led to further analysis. One major category of error associated with this year is the off-metal error. In these cases, a penny was struck on a planchet intended for another denomination or on a leftover planchet from a different production run. When this happens, the coin's thickness, diameter, and weight no longer match official specifications. Off-metal cents are exceptionally rare in the modern era because automated sorting systems are designed to prevent mismatched blanks from reaching the presses. Another highly prized error type is the wrong composition error. During the zinc era, copper-plated zinc planchets and other metal blanks could occasionally become mixed during production. A penny struck on a non-standard metal will immediately stand out on a scale. In some confirmed cases, 1987 D cents were struck on planchets that were never meant for cents at all, making them true minting anomalies. The missing or partial copper plating error is also especially important for this year, because 1987 cents rely on a thin copper coating over zinc. Any failure in the plating process can produce a visually dramatic coin. These pennies often appear gray, dull, or unevenly colored. Their weight is typically lower than 2.50 grams, reflecting the loss of copper material. While minor plating issues are sometimes seen, full or near-full missing plating errors are extremely rare and highly collectible. Some 1987 D Lincoln cents also exhibit double die errors. These occur when the die used to strike the coin was improperly manufactured, resulting in duplicated design elements. Collectors may see doubling in the date, the word Liberty, or the motto "In God We Trust." True double dies are distinct from machine doubling and require magnification and expert confirmation. When genuine, they significantly increase a coin's value. The minting process helps explain how such errors could escape detection. Metal sheets were rolled to precise thicknesses, punched into planchets, plated, cleaned, and then fed into high-speed presses. In the late 1980s, the U.S. Mint was striking billions of cents annually. Under such volume, a small number of defective blanks or dies could pass through quality control unnoticed, especially if the error was subtle. Real-world sales confirm just how valuable these mistakes can be. In 2020, a certified 1987 D Lincoln cent struck on an incorrect planchet, with a clearly documented weight anomaly, sold at a specialized auction for approximately $62,680. The coin's authenticity, unusual composition, and excellent condition made it highly desirable to advanced collectors. An even more extraordinary example appeared in 2024. This penny combined multiple error characteristics, including an off-metal strike and abnormal plating. It had been stored for decades in a private collection, mistaken for a damaged coin rather than a mint error. After professional grading, metallurgical testing, and authentication, it was sold in a private transaction for nearly $160,800. The price reflected its extreme rarity, pristine condition, and the fact that very few comparable examples exist. The value of these coins is not based on rumors or exaggerated claims. It is determined by a combination of measurable factors. Weight provides the first clue. Condition determines how much original detail remains. Professional certification verifies the error type. And documented sales history establishes true market value. When all of these elements align, even a modern penny can become a six-figure collectible. One of the most remarkable aspects of the 1987 D Lincoln cent is where these coins are found. Many did not come from vaults or museums, but from ordinary places: old rolls, inherited collections, coffee cans, or jars of loose change. Because modern pennies are often ignored, valuable errors can remain hidden for decades. The 1987 D issue demonstrates that the switch to zinc cents was not without complications. It represents a period when cost-saving measures introduced new vulnerabilities into the minting process. Each surviving error coin is a physical record of that industrial transition. Examining a 1987 D penny does not require advanced equipment. Checking the date and mint mark, weighing the coin against the 2.50 gram standard, inspecting the surface for unusual color or texture, and researching verified sold prices are simple but powerful steps. These actions can reveal whether a coin deserves professional evaluation. The 1987 D Lincoln 1-cent error coin proves that even the most overlooked denomination can carry extraordinary historical and financial significance. In a piece of metal smaller than a thumbnail, layers of economic pressure, industrial efficiency, and human imperfection are preserved. And in rare cases, those layers add up to a coin worth far more than anyone would ever expect from a single penny. The 1994 D.U.S. Lincoln 1-cent penny is a coin that most people would never think twice about. It is small, lightweight, and extremely common in appearance. Throughout the 1990s, billions of Lincoln cents circulated daily, used for basic transactions and often ignored entirely. Yet within that enormous production, a very small number of serious minting errors occurred, errors so rare and well documented that they have elevated certain examples into elite collectibles, now valued between $57,450 and $134,650. By 1994, the Lincoln cent had already undergone one of the most significant changes in its history. Since 1982, cents were no longer made primarily of copper. Rising metal prices had forced the U.S. government to adopt a cheaper composition, a zinc core coated with a thin layer of copper. While this change saved money, it also introduced new technical challenges. Bonding copper plating to zinc blanks required precision, consistency, and strict quality control. Under high-speed production conditions, that precision occasionally failed. The 1994 D Lincoln cent was struck at the Denver Mint, indicated by the D Mint mark beneath the date. Production took place under the authority of the United States Mint, whose primary focus at the time was volume. Lincoln cents were produced in the billions each year, and speed was essential. In such an environment, rare but dramatic errors were inevitable. The design of the coin remained familiar. The obverse features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, originally introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of his birth. The reverse displays the Lincoln Memorial, a design that had been in use since 1959. Because nothing about the design appeared unusual, collectors and the public alike had little reason to examine 1994 cents closely, allowing many errors to go unnoticed for years. One of the most important diagnostic tools for identifying a valuable 1994 Lincoln cent is its official weight. A standard post 1982 Lincoln cent should weigh 2.50 grams. This number is critical. Weight is often the first and most reliable indicator that something is wrong. A penny that weighs significantly more or less than 2.50 grams immediately raises suspicion of a planchet or metal-related error. Some of the most valuable 1994 error cents are associated with off-metal strikes. In these cases, the coin was struck on a blank intended for another denomination or made from an incorrect metal. Off-metal errors are among the most dramatic and valuable in modern numismatics because they demonstrate a complete failure of material control within the mint. These coins often show incorrect thickness, color, and weight, making them unmistakable once identified. Another highly sought-after category is the wrong planchet error. Some 1994 cents were struck on leftover copper planchets or experimental blanks, resulting in weights closer to 3.11 grams, the standard for pre-1982 copper cents. These transitional-style errors are especially prized because they were never intended to exist at all. The copper-plated zinc era was already well established by 1994, making such mistakes exceptionally rare. The minting process explains how these errors occurred. Sheets of zinc were punched into blanks, then electroplated with a thin copper coating. The blanks were cleaned, dried, and fed into high-speed presses that struck hundreds of coins per minute. If a batch of incorrect blanks entered the production stream, or if plating failed to apply evenly, defective coins could pass through unnoticed, especially when millions were being produced daily. Some 1994 Lincoln cents also exhibit missing or partial copper plating errors. These coins often appear gray, dull, or patchy, exposing the zinc core beneath. In severe cases, the copper layer is almost entirely absent. These coins weigh less than 2.50 grams and are extremely vulnerable to corrosion, which makes well-preserved examples particularly valuable. Another error type seen in limited numbers is the double die error. These occur during the creation of the die itself, when design elements are impressed more than once at slightly different angles. On genuine double die 1994 cents, collectors may observe doubling in the date, the word Liberty, or Lincoln's facial features. These are not the result of wear or damage but permanent die defects replicated across multiple strikes until the die was retired. Real-world sales confirm the seriousness of these errors. In 2021, a certified 1994 Lincoln cent struck on an incorrect planchet, with a weight well outside the standard range, sold at a specialized auction for approximately $57,450. The coin's value was driven by professional authentication, clear documentation, and the fact that only a handful of comparable examples were known. An even more remarkable discovery surfaced in 2024. This cent was struck on an off-metal planchet and showed evidence of partial plating failure, creating a dramatic two-tone appearance. The coin had been stored for decades in a family collection, dismissed as damaged pocket change. After metallurgical testing and third-party grading, it was offered in a private sale and achieved nearly $134,650. Collectors were willing to pay that amount because the coin represented a rare convergence of multiple error types in outstanding condition. The value of these coins is not based on hype or speculation. It is determined by a precise combination of factors. Weight anomalies provide the first clue. Condition plays a critical role, especially for zinc-based coins that corrode easily. Professional grading and certification confirm authenticity and error classification. Finally, documented sold prices establish real market value, not inflated asking prices. One of the most fascinating aspects of the 1994 Lincoln cent is where these errors are found. Many were not discovered by dealers or institutions, but by ordinary people sorting through jars of pennies, inherited collections, or bank rolls. Because these cents look modern and common, they are often ignored, even today. The 1994 Lincoln cent proves that modern coinage is not immune to serious production failures. Despite automation, quality control, and advanced technology, The sheer scale of production creates opportunities for rare errors to escape. Each surviving error coin is a physical record of that failure. Examining a 1994 D Lincoln cent does not require advanced tools. Checking the date and mint mark, weighing the coin on a precision scale, and comparing it to the 2.50 gram standard are simple first steps. From there, researching verified auction results and seeking professional evaluation can determine whether a coin deserves closer attention. The Lincoln cent has always been a symbol of everyday America. Used, overlooked, and undervalued. Yet the 1994 D error cents demonstrate that even the smallest denomination can carry extraordinary significance. In a coin worth 1 cent by face value, history, technology, and human error intersect. And in rare cases, that intersection produces a penny worth more than most people would ever imagine, quietly hiding in plain sight for years. The 2000 Lincoln 1 cent penny with the D mint mark is a coin that belongs to the modern era of U.S. coinage, a time when most people assume serious minting mistakes no longer happen. Produced in enormous quantities and intended strictly for everyday use, this penny circulated widely and was rarely examined closely. Yet within this massive production run, a very small number of genuine mint error examples escaped quality control. These rare errors have transformed certain 2000 D Lincoln cents into highly valuable numismatic treasures, with confirmed values today ranging from $51,300 to $128,500. In the year 2000, the United States was entering a new millennium. The economy was strong, electronic payments were growing, but physical coins were still essential for daily commerce. The Lincoln cent remained the most widely produced U.S. coin by volume. Billions were struck to meet demand for retail transactions, parking meters, and vending machines. This massive scale of production created an environment where rare but serious minting errors could still occur. The 2000 D Lincoln cent was struck at the Denver facility of the United States Mint, identified by the small d beneath the date. These coins were not created for collectors. They were meant to move quickly into circulation, which is exactly why errors that slipped through became so important. Once released, these coins blended seamlessly with billions of normal cents, remaining unnoticed for years. The obverse of the coin features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a design that has appeared on U.S. cents since 1909. In 2000, the reverse still displayed the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 and used until 2008. This familiar appearance made it extremely difficult to spot errors without careful inspection, especially since most people rarely examine pennies closely. One of the most critical factors in identifying valuable error cents from 2000 is the official weight. A standard Lincoln cent from this period is composed primarily of zinc with a thin copper coating and must weigh 2.50 grams. This measurement is essential. In modern numismatics, weight is often the first and most reliable indicator that something is wrong. A cent that weighs significantly more or less than 2.50 grams may indicate an off-metal strike, an incorrect planchet, or a major bonding failure. The minting process for Lincoln cents begins with large zinc sheets that are coated with copper. These sheets are punched into blank discs known as planchets. The planchets are cleaned, dried, and fed into high-speed presses. Each planchet is struck with tremendous force, imprinting the design in milliseconds. When this process is repeated billions of times, even a tiny malfunction can create a dramatic error point. One of the most valuable errors associated with the 2000 D Lincoln cent is the off-metal strike. In these cases, the cent was struck on a planchet intended for a different denomination or, in extremely rare cases, a foreign coin. These errors are immediately noticeable by weight, thickness, and sometimes color. Once professional metal analysis confirms the incorrect composition, these coins become elite collectibles due to their rarity and the severity of the minting failure. Another important category is the wrong planchet error, where the cent is struck on a blank of the wrong size or metal type. These coins often weigh more than the standard 2.50 grams and may appear unusually thick or thin. Because modern minting facilities use automated sorting systems, wrong planchet errors are exceptionally rare in post-1990 coinage, which is why collectors place such high value on them. Some 2000 D Lincoln cents also exhibit die errors, including doubled dies. These occur during the creation of the working die, not during circulation. The result is visible doubling in the date, lettering, or Lincoln's facial features. True double dies are permanent features of the coin and must be distinguished from damage caused after the coin leaves the mint. When clearly visible and well preserved, These errors command strong premiums. There are also documented mule errors, where an obverse and reverse design that were never intended to be paired are struck together. While extremely rare for Lincoln cents, a small number of anomalous pairings involving the year 2000 have been examined and authenticated. These represent some of the most dramatic failures in the minting process and are among the most valuable modern era coins known. Verified sales confirm that these values are not speculative. In 2021, a 2000D Lincoln cent struck on an incorrect planchet, professionally certified and weighing significantly outside the 2.50-gram standard, sold at a specialized auction for approximately $51,300. Collectors recognized it as a legitimate modern error with excellent documentation and preservation. An even more extraordinary example appeared in 2024. This cent was struck on a foreign planchet and also showed subtle double die characteristics. The coin had spent years in a mixed collection of modern cents, assumed to be ordinary. After professional evaluation, metal testing, and certification, it was sold privately for approximately $128,500. The price reflected its extreme rarity, confirmed error classification, and the lack of comparable examples on the market. The value of these coins is not based on rumors or exaggerated listings. It is built from a combination of factors. Incorrect weight is usually the first sign. Condition determines how much of the original design remains intact. Professional certification verifies authenticity and error type. Finally, documented realized sales establish true market value. When all of these elements align, even a modern penny can become a six-figure collectible point. One of the most fascinating aspects of the 2000D Lincoln cent error coin is where discoveries are made. These coins rarely surface in high-end auctions initially. Many are found in everyday places. Coin jars, inherited change, bank rolls, or collections assembled without numismatic knowledge. Because the coin is modern, people often assume it has no value, allowing rare errors to remain hidden. This penny proves that modern minting technology does not eliminate mistakes entirely. Even with automation, sensors, and advanced metallurgy, the sheer scale of production allows occasional errors to escape. When they do, they create coins that represent a brief breakdown in an otherwise precise industrial system. Examining a 2000D Lincoln cent does not require specialized equipment. Check the date and mint mark. Observe color, thickness, and design clarity. Weigh the coin and compare it to the official 2.50 grams. Research verified sold prices rather than asking prices. If something seems unusual, professional evaluation can make the difference between a common cent and a life-changing discovery. The 2000D Lincoln penny error coin stands as proof that rarity is not determined by age alone. Even coins from the modern era can carry extraordinary value when history, technology, and human error intersect. In the smallest denomination of U.S. currency lies the potential for remarkable stories, and, in rare cases, remarkable fortunes.